Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're doing the Shrine of Secrets review for the 28th of April 2021. This is a series where we go the Shrine of Secrets in Dead by Daylight. There are 2 killer perks and 2 survivor perks. We go over what they do, how they work, how the perk changes as you tier up, what characters they come with, and at the end I'll give my thoughts on which ones you should buy with iridescent shards. Apologies. Wow. Okay. So, yeah, this is basically a system that will change the perks in the rotation each week and allows you the chance to get a perk that you really want or, really need for shards instead of using blood points to level up the character, which also saves you from having to buy that character. I've been playing this game a long time, so I'm just using what I know of both sides and the mechanics and everything to kind of guide you on which perks are better to buy and which ones are better that you need. It is completely your choice though. Obviously I'm not telling you what to do. You can obviously make whatever purchase you want. But it's just to be like, don't get a perk like this, but get a perk like this, if that makes sense. As I'm recording this, there is a blood point code currently for Golden Week. If you type in Happy Golden Week 2021, all one word, then you can get 30k blood points for free. So I don't know when the expiration date for this. I assume it will be a week, but I don't know. So just put it in as soon as possible. So all one word. And without further ado, I think we're going to get started. First of all, we have Balanced Landing, which is a near perk, and this is an exhaustion perk, so you'll get your big ass speed boost from this. The way you can trigger this one is from once you fall from a height. This can be any height. Either like a small height, as long as you obviously have to fall off something and then hit the ground. Once you hit the ground, you'll get your speed boost. Also, it says your stagger duration from falling is reduced by 75%, and you reduce the volume of grunts of pain, grunts from falling by 100%. So basically, when you fall down from a big height, and she goes, basically that gets silenced. And also you don't stagger as much when you fall as well. You get exhausted for 60 seconds when this happens. At tier 2 that's 50 seconds, and tier 3 is 40 seconds. Yeah, so sorry about all the noise I was just making then. I'm not prepared for this. I've had to try and record this 4 times, so apologies about that. Essentially, you fall from a height, you get a few little nice niche things with it, but mainly once you hit the ground from falling, you'll get your speed boost. This isn't bad, but I do think Balanced Landing is probably one of the worst exhaustion perks in the game, just because of how it has to trigger. It's the same issue I have with Sprint Burst, which again, Sprint Burst is a good perk, and this is as well, I guess, but I just hate having to try and save the perk to use, because what I find with Sprint Burst is I just want to sprint around all the time. So it's annoying having to sprint, and it's oh, do I want to sprint? So I have to walk really slowly everywhere, and it's oh, do I have to wait for my exhaustion? Can I 99 my exhaustion? Just things like that. It gets a bit annoying. I prefer something like Live or Dead Hard even, where you can just choose to trigger it when you want. But I don't know. It's just I don't know. Again, you're falling off things a lot, so sometimes when you're trying to be stealthy or whatever, if you fall off something, you're gonna go flying. So I do think it's one of the worst exhaustion perks in the game. It does shine on maps like Haddonfield and things like that. It's obviously not as powerful as it used to be. This perk used to be broken as fuck. Has been nerfed since. But, it's still not bad, but I don't know, it's not very good either, I don't think. So keep that in mind. We'll come back to it. Next up we have Built to Last, which is a Felix perk. I forgot his name then. And this is 2,700 shards instead of 2,000, because apparently this is the first time that it's been on a shrine. Personally, I remember kind of talking about it somewhere, but I guess I was dreaming that or something. I don't know. So keep in mind, this is a bit more expensive if you want to get this one, because it's its first appearance in the shrine. Once per trial, a depleted item will refill 30% of its charges after 10 seconds. Tier 2 that's 40%, and tier 3 is 50%. Basically, you use an item in a match, you fully use it up, and then after 10 seconds you'll get half of it back, which is pretty good actually. That's a pretty powerful effect. I think you can combo this with Streetwise, which reduces charges consumption by 25% or something for ages. So you could use it for that. If you have a really good item, this would be really good as well. If you've got a challenge, the main the main reason I use this perk is for those challenges where you have to fully deplete like 6 medkits, because you can use it up for one of those and then use it up again for the 50%, which still counts that challenge as just half. So yeah, to be honest, I don't use this perk as officially as like it's intended, but this is still good. It only applies once per trial. But other than that, yeah, if you have a really powerful toolbox, if you have a really powerful medkit, anything like that, a flashlight maybe, anything like that, it will get 50% of its charges back. And again, it does work things like streetwise, and if it's a medkit, things like botany knowledge do come into play, so you can make some good plays with it. People either really don't like this perk or think it's meh, so I don't know, I personally do like it. I don't really use it a whole lot, but I see the appeal, and it definitely can come in clutch a lot, so yeah, don't hate on it straight away. Next up we have a perk you can hate upon straight away. This is Hex the Third Seal from the Hag, and this is a Hex perk, so keep in mind that it is attached to a totem, and the totem's broken, then it will lose this effect. Basically, when you hit survive with a basic attack while the Hex totem is still standing, it will apply the blindness status effect. This effect applies to the last 2 survivors hit. At tier 2 that is 3 survivors hit, and tier 3 is 4 survivors hit. The wording here is a bit weird, but basically you hit someone and you get a token. That's how they should have worded it. You get a token. Tier 3 of this perk, it means everyone could be affected, so if you hit everyone at least once with a basic attack, once you get 4 tokens, everyone has permanent blindness until the Hex gets destroyed. I don't... see, I know everyone hates on this perk, and I do as well, but I don't think it's terrible. I think it's really bad, but I don't think it's complete garbage, because I've used this perk a few times back in the day. Honestly, it can have a pretty crippling effect, I'm not gonna lie. The main thing with this perk is getting everyone hit as soon as possible. It has to be with a basic attack, no pyramid heads, you know, shockwave attack or any shit like that. It's just, you know, the M1. As long as you hit everyone at least once and you have this perk tier 3, everyone will be affected by permanent blindness. This defeats things like Bond, Empathy, Aftercare, Kindred, Visionary. I can't think of any aura perks off the top of my head, I'm sorry. Any survivor aura perk like that will get completely nulled by this effect. Even when you're hooking someone, when you hook someone, the bubble thing appears and you see their aura on the hook a little bit. I know it stays there, doesn't it, until they get rescued. The bubble is the only thing that will appear, which honestly, if you're playing against solo queue and they're not paying attention, but actually saying that, knocking someone also won't show the aura, so if they're not paying attention, then they won't find the person's hooked. And I've had this a lot of the games that I've used this perk, where like someone who gets hooked for the first time goes into second state and then basically nearly dies because no one was paying attention to the bubble when you get hooked. It's so, because they're all blinded, they have no clue where she is. Just little things like that happen. Bond, Object of Obsession as well, so you can basically just keep seeing them but they can't see you. Just things like that do make this perk kind of a threat, but yeah, I don't know, it's just weird. It's like not great. It is a Hex perk. It does have to be a Hex perk, because if this was base then it would be overpowered as fuck. But yeah, I think this has potential. I think this should maybe get reworked in the future or looked at or tweaked or whatever. But it's not complete garbage like everyone says it is. Most of the time it is, but you will have a few games, like I said, where, you know, the team will basically collapse in on themselves because they can't do anything, basically. Yeah, pretty much. And finally we have a Nurse's Calling, which is a nurse perk, and this is a really good perk. This is very strong. The auras of survivors who are healing or being healed themselves are revealed to you when they are within 28 meters range. No, 20 meter range. Then at tier 2 it's 24 meters and tier 3 is 28 meters. I did just wake up an hour ago, so please don't, you know, hate me. This is a good perk. This is probably, in my opinion, Nurse's best perk. Nurse also has Strider and Phantophobia, which honestly are pretty good perks in themselves, but I don't know, I use this one more often. I'd never use Phantophobia. Strider I only use on Spirit. I use this on a lot of killers. I use this on like Wraith, Ghostface, Pig for a while. I'm currently using on Trickster, I think, at the moment, which isn't too bad, I guess. 28 meters, you know, that's just under like Bond a little bit, but I think this is still good. This is a great perk. It's a good and a great perk. You can see people who are healing or being healed. Obviously, if they're healing themselves as well, that counts. Again, especially stealth killers. Most of the killers I just listed there were stealth killers. They can really help with this, especially people like Ghostface, who has no problem just walking up to someone and literally just giving them a heart attack and getting a free down. It's good to just slow down the game a bit as well, because people are trying to heal and you keep interrupting that, and then, you know, sometimes they'll just choose not to heal, or they'll go somewhere really far and do it, and that obviously wastes time where they could be doing gens. So that's good. This perk is really good in general overall. This can be used well on most killers, but especially the ones I listed with like stealth and like good map mobility and everything like that. It's really good. Again, you can combine it with things like Sloppy Butcher, maybe even Phantophobia, to try and make it more of a task for them to heal. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go over which ones I think you should buy, and I am only going to... I don't know, actually. I'm not sure I'm going to recommend any this week. Nurse's Calling I was going to, but I would just say level up Nurse. Nurse is a base character. She has 2 really good perks as well. So, you know, that would maybe take like 1,000,000 points to get to level 40 for all of those. So honestly, I would just level up Nurse. I'd rather just level up Nurse herself than waste 2,000 shards on it, because you can just, you know, I would save those shards for something else. This can... you can just get blood points. Balance Landing I don't really like. I don't think it's very good. Nia's other perks aren't amazing as well, so I'd skip on that one definitely. The third seal has potential, but I think, again, I wouldn't feel comfortable telling you to put 2,000 shards on this. I would say the same thing maybe. Maybe just level up Hag, because Hag... you do have to get, but also she has Devour, Hope and Ruin, which are both some very strong perks, incredibly strong actually. So I'll just level up that. This is just a bonus. That's what happened with me and Hag. Like, I was just leveling her up to get Ruin, and then, you know, on the way I got this, and I was like, well, it's not very good, but, you know, at least I've got an extra perk now, I guess, you know. So it's just kind of here. I think this will probably get looked at some point in the future, because I think at the moment people aren't using this at all, and it's not very good, and people don't like it, so don't buy this one. And as for Built to Last, yeah, I don't know. This one's a bit weird. This one's a bit niche. Again, I would say this doesn't get a whole lot of value. You get half your charges back. It only happens once per match, which, again, is still good, but like, other than that, it won't really do anything for you. So unless you're using a really good item, I guess, but even then, maybe with Streetwise as well, but still, that's just a lot just to, you know, make an item last a bit longer, you know. Is it really worth it? Also, it is more expensive. It is 700 shards more expensive because it's the first time it's on the shrine, so keep that in mind. But mostly, I wouldn't say buy any, but I will say level up Nurse to get Nurse's Calling and also the other perks, because Nurse's Calling is great, and I promise it will get you value. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, there is a code, Happy Golden Week 2021, for some blood points, and I will see you in the next one.